Hey guys, Miranda Pitrone back here with you to do another fun mandala. This one is on a Santorini stone from Capcouriers. As always, all the things I use in the video, I'll post links in the description if you're looking to purchase them. Here's my fun color palette for today. Lots of nice corals, periwinkle. I just love this flower, super fun colors. And that's found at my color palette board at Miranda Pitrone Art. You can just go down to my boards and find color palettes, yay! And this has a ton of great inspiration for colors. And that's where I posted this little guy. Alright, we're going to start off with diaoxazine purple and a large acrylic rod. I've divided my stone with a black background into 9 sections. And you can see I just sketched in the guidelines here with my Etcher. We're going to put this big old dot right in the center here for our flower mandala, just to have a little bit of a different color background. I don't always get these centered quite right when I push the paint down because normally I use brushes, so these take a little practice. Alright, grab some purple pizzazz and we'll switch to the dotting tools here. And this is the pink one on the rainbow set, and I'm going to go around and put a little dot of that purple pizzazz on each of our guidelines here just to kind of start them off for us. So I angle these dotting tools myself. I do have them in my shop. I don't know if anybody else is really selling them, but you can buy them straight if you would prefer. Next up is Purple Sunset. I'm going to use the large dotting tool in this set, which is the green. And we're going to put a big old dot in between the purple pizzazz that we just put down. And I keep re-dipping to get about the same size dot. I'm just dip and dot. This one's about 3 millimeters in size. And starting from the center and working our way out really helps us keep our symmetry. For the most part, you don't really need guidelines. You can just start in the middle, get your first round down, symmetrical, and then work your way out. Alright, this delicious raspberry is one of the multi-surface ones. I really love this one, and they dry kind of shiny. But I varnish it with high gloss afterwards anyway, but these ones I love the raspberry. So we're going to put a little dot of that over each of the purple pizzazz using the yellow or the pink dotting tool. They're about the same size on this end. Such a rich pink, I love it. Alright, on to some white. Now I'm back to the pink tool, but the small end. And let's do three dots of white over each of the raspberry, and we'll get our lines going here. And this way too, and we'll reach them out to the edge, and that way we can have some sort of space to work with in each of these segments. I got a little crooked on that one, but it's okay. I'm just gonna let it go. This is the enjoyable part. You don't have to stress. Just enjoy dotting or painting. It's not a geometrical masterpiece. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's art. Just enjoy some colorful color schemes. And 3 more on our last line here. Okay, coral shell. It's kind of like a light peach coral. It's really pretty. Now let's do about, say, 6 dots of this out. There's 3. Need a little bit more. 4, 5, 6. And like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. It's just, this is just to give you an approximation of how far, the sizing that I'm using here. And I can't remember if I mentioned, but my circle, my background is 3 inches in diameter, and I'll put that at the beginning too, at the description, so you know ahead of time. The 6 dots of the coral. And a lot of times too, we'll fill in from the center out, just constantly bulking it up, but this way it kind of creates your guideline for you, just to have some fun sections to work with. Two more lines left. I hope you guys are enjoying this one. It's going to be really colorful, like sunset. Those colors are just awesome. Perfect for summer. All right, Eggplant, you are my next victim. And we'll go with the yellow dotting tool. And then down at the base of the white, next to the white and above each of our larger purple dots here, we'll put a couple dots of the eggplant. And it's going to dry a little bit darker than this, so that's okay. And if you don't have these exact colors, obviously use what you have close. You can change the whole color scheme up completely. It's just fun creating. But these are just some ideas to give you all. I can't thank you guys enough too for all the notes you've been sending and the correspondence and just saying hi. I've even been getting phone calls from some of you. It is so awesome to get to meet you all. I love this. I love this art community. Alright, so now this shoreline we're going to kind of toss in the center, similar to the flower at the beginning that I showed with the color combo. And we're just going to fill in the center with some light shoreline dots. So if you have light blue, sky blue, anything like that should work. But I'm just going to fill them all in here, kind of randomly, not in lines. I don't want them in lines. Just kind of like the center of a flower where the seeds or the pollen is. I was just kind of haphazardly. The larger ones are near the center, but then as I work out, I'm just letting them get tiny. Tuck some little tiny ones in here. But there's not really a rhyme or reason. Just start bigger in the center and then just kind of work your way out with the smaller ones toward the edge of our center ring, all on top of that diaoxazine purple, which is just a really dark purple. I probably should have mixed a little bit of white in the diaoxazine. It would have been a little hair or two lighter because you almost can't discern it from the black. Maybe after I varnish it, it'll be a little bit different, but not much. Okay, now I have bright salmon, and we're gonna go with one of the smaller dotting tools again, the yellow, and do 3 dots towards the end after our coral here, just to have our lines reach out to the edge of our black diameter circle. So you can see even my lines aren't perfect. I can see it on the video screen. Sometimes when I'm more up close with it, I can't tell, but it's kind of like the flower petals waving in the wind. But you gotta kind of think like that, you know, just be relaxed, be calm, enjoy it. This is meant to be fun for you, not stressful. All right. So our lines are done. I have this lovely lavender fields, and back down on the intersection, down where we put the eggplant dots next to the white, we're gonna tuck, let's say 2. We'll do 2 dots up of the lavender fields, just to kind of bulk up the inner part of the lines here. So 2 dots of lavender fields. And I'm using the small end of my yellow. And this really is a good example with mandalas. You can take a different route every time. I don't know if many of you remember the choose your own adventure stories when you're kids, where you could choose to turn to page 27 and have a different outcome than if you went to page 36, and it would be a whole another adventure. Each time you read it, you could choose different page numbers. Super fun. So kind of like mandalas for that point. Each time you can just add larger dots, smaller dots, different shapes, different size shapes, you know, leave some blank space, some negative space in it. There's really, just endless possibilities for the mandalas, and just enjoy the little journey that each one takes you on. Different rocks, different sizes, different shapes. It's just so much fun. And some downtime. I don't know about you all, but having 3 kids, homeschooling, all that type of thing gets a little nuts. And now we're hopefully moving and selling our home and moving to another home and packing and painting and all the stuff that comes with switching houses. It's a little crazy. All right, so Orchid Blossom is just a shade lighter and a little pinker, and we'll do 2 dots above the lavender fields that we just put down. And I'm just using the small end of the pink, but you could use the small end of the yellow too. It's just to go a little bit tinier, because that's as far up as we're going to go with these. And then we'll start filling in with some larger dots in between each of the segments. And if you guys follow along with me often, you'll see I kind of have an affinity for ombre, so going light to dark in the same color, dark to light, different shades of the same color. I don't know why, I just enjoy the look of that. And that way too, you're not choosing kind of if your colors get too varied, it can look a little chaotic, colorful, but chaotic. And I've been known to make a few like that as well. All right, a couple here on the last one. So you can see how it thickened up those lines a bit. All right, let's grab the coral shell again. And with the large green dotting tool, so the 3mm ends, that big old dot, we're gonna tuck one right in the bottom of the V that we just made with our purples. And this way too, you're getting a good contrast with the light coral to the purples. And then switching from the little dots, to the big dot, it helps create a different shape. So really, there's no right or wrong way to do these. Just enjoy them. I Can't stress that enough. We have enough stress in our lives. Let's be calm. Too much going on. Just have some fun time painting, spending time with like-minded people who are just trying to chill. All right, coral blush. So the same one we used. And we're going to tuck it. I think let's do 2 dots on top of the one we just put down. Yeah. So with the yellow, I'm just doing, and so kind of off to the side next to the purple. So there'll be a little space in between on some of them. Depends on the spacing of your segments too. So that's another thing too. We all dot differently. Different size, different shape. And I've noticed lately in my statistics, because YouTube sends me all those, that we've had some more men joining us, which is awesome. I love seeing guys get into this because then they have so many other different ideas too. Then women are very aesthetic at times, but some of the guys, they have some like rugged looking designs. They're just fantastic. Bold colors, like it's really neat to see the difference that people pick in all their color choices and shapes and sizes. So welcome aboard all the newbies, men and women. So for the purposes of YouTube, it tends to be silent in my background when I'm narrating, but I generally do listen to all types of music when I'm painting. So you guys can toss a comment down below and let me know what you like to listen to. Some people listen to books on tape, some people listen to music, some people need it silent, some people just like the house noises of their home. Alrighty, I think we'll go back to that coral blush so it's a little bit darker. And we're going to do 1 dot of the coral blush above the 2 that we just put down on each of our segments. Oops! Alright, and you'll get to see me fix a mistake now here too. I just love it when goobers plop on my art piece. Alright, we'll finish up my dots here. These are quick because we're only doing 1. But again, this is the beauty of having a background color. For those of you who don't know, when you want to fix a mistake and you've plopped something, or I just like to call them unintended issues we have here. So we can scrape the paint off and then just come back in with the black or blue, whatever color you've used on your background, to just kind of touch it up. So you can take a dry brush, you can take a silicone tipped tool and then just wipe off the excess paint and then come back in with a little bit of the black because that's what I used. So you can use the silicone tip too and just scrape the paint off here so you get most of the excess off. And then I'll just come back in with a little bit of the matte black that I used for my background and paint over that area. Let it dry and then we'll come back and toss our little coral back in there. There we go. See? Quick and painless. These silicone tools are pretty amazing. They can make ovals, you can make dots, like some of them have different shapes. People use them to do swipes. Lots of fun. Alright, so you know what? Why don't we go ahead and use that silicone tool I'll show you here. We'll use the fruit punch. And let's make a petal oval shape here at the top of each of our sections. Oh, that color goes so nicely with the rest of these. Love it, so bright. And so I'm just holding it perpendicular when I first set it down, but then I just kind of rock it back and forth to get the tips down to kind of create that not really pointed shape, but more of an oval, an even oval petal. And if you're looking for more oval ideas, there are, I have another video that I just put out recently with how to do oval dots. It's quick little tutorial on dipping anything I could find, from screwdrivers to brushes to who knows. They're all on there. And so you just don't want to push down too hard with these because it will waver back and forth and get a weird shape, but it's more of just a gentle wiggling. I like to talk through each of these because I know you guys can't really see or what I'm thinking, obviously, or how hard I'm pressing. So that's something I like to do in my videos. I've realized over the years that you just have to explain everything in that way. You can kind of get the idea for how to do it. So again, it's not pushing down super hard because the silicone is spongy. I'm just kind of tapping the paint off of it. And that one I didn't get thick enough, so I dip it again and just kind of let the paint off and then rock it back and forth just a little bit to get those two little points. So it's just learning technique. You know, you get it when you practice, obviously, on your own, but it's sometimes faster if someone can just tell you, hey, look, I'm rocking it back and forth, or I'm pushing it harder, or, you know, in other videos where I do the swipes, it's not fast. You can just take your time, drag the paint out. It actually is better if you do it slow because the paint stays wicked to the item that you're painting. So hopefully all those little tips and hints help. We'll get this other one here. I might not have enough paint on this, we'll see. Maybe I can get it. And then I'm just making sure I pull it up straight, so you can kind of pull these into a little bit of a different shape with your tools too, so I wanted a little pointier there. These are a little plumper too, coming off the silicone tools. All right, going to some royal fuchsia. And at the base of each of our petals with the large dotting tool, the 3mm, the green one, I'm going to put a big fat dot of that fuchsia on either side of the base of the petal. It's like Tutti Frutti, these colors are awesome. Fruit Loops, remember that cereal? No green though. There we go. So, and I'm not going bigger, I'm just using the size that the tool allows for. So it's just dip and dot each time, so they're the same size. On either side of our little petal. And I think the lighting today actually worked out pretty well in my studio here. So you can actually see the true colors of how colorful and fun this stone came out. Alright, so now I'm going to go with our little tiny silicone tool here, the dual tip one. So this one makes little petals, the other end makes large ovals with the silicone. We're going to grab some white, and with the little plastic end, we're going to go around and put some little petals kind of at an angle here. Just push down and pull it back a little and up. That one didn't work out so well because the black is wet, so I'm going to fix that after. But pull back a little here. Just kind of tuck them in at an angle here. We'll do these around each of our larger pink petals. I'm just kind of, when I get this spot that I wanted, and push down and pull it back a little, just to kind of make that petal shape, because it's a beveled edge. So just kind of push down and pull it back just a hair. See, tug back with just a hair to get the point. And then it makes that cute little petal shape. So teeny tiny. But you can see too, looking at that, how it makes. So let's fix that little guy there. I'm just gonna grab the other end of the silicone of this, just like I showed with the other tool. And I'm just gonna tuck it in here and scrape the paint off. Oops, I wiped it on my pad. So, and I'll just chuck a little more black in there because I just wasn't super excited about how that first one had turned out. So we'll cover it back over with a little bit of the matte black background. Pretend like it never happened. There we go. And it's back to basic here. While that's drying, I'm going to use my Etcher, but I'm going to use the one that I've been putting in my shop recently. It's the dual end Etcher tool. This one is my homemade one, the dotting tool, but I'm going to use the other one with the black handle, and I'm going to use the gold end. And we're going to make like an apostrophe mark to tuck it down in here, just for kind of some whimsical little, not really a swipe, I don't even know. I guess I'm just going to call it an apostrophe. That's pretty much what you're doing. So you make it like you're going to put your dot down, and then just kind of bring it up and around and down. There was a little much paint on that one, so that's why it got a little thicker. But that's okay. I'm going in all the same direction just because that's how my brain works. Some people might be able to alternate back and forth, but I tend to just go all in the same direction. But while those other black areas of wet paint are drying, I'll just tuck some other ones in here, going the opposite way. So kind of like a J, I guess you could be making it like a J, but you're just taking your time, put your dotting tool down on your piece, and then actually slowly and gently just curl it around and down in, tuck it down in. I think I have a Christmas video where I did some like this on ornaments. Might have been Christmas this year. So I'm just wiping off because I got too much on the tool. I want it to be a little daintier of a tail. So I'll put my tool down and then up and around and in. But like, you can see how fun, if you're doing the same thing on your mandala all the way around in all the same spots, then it generates that pattern along with the symmetry. It's just fun, kind of like the kaleidoscopes we did when we were kids, where it was the same blue all the way around, or the same red triangle all the way around, that type of thing. But again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Take your time and just have fun. Too much on that one. I could kind of see it was going to come off in a dollop, so I just kind of gently dot and pick up a little bit of paint, the white, and that way I can drag it out with a little tail. So I'm gonna have to go back and fill these other ones in here now that the black is dry. Alright, so let's grab some coral blush here while we're waiting too. And we're just gonna do 2 tiny little dots at the top. I don't know why, I feel the need to just put them here. Just for the fun of carrying that color out to the edge. So, these kind of look like little bugs or butterflies. But it's a nature flower mandala with little bugs. Who knows? Whatever you want to make it. But see, this also could give you an idea for a future stone. Like, oh, make it all bugs. You can make little bees or whatever. And that's how you end up creating. You just keep on progressing through your art. It's so much fun. So I urge you, don't give up. Please don't give up. If you're having trouble and you're struggling, write me, ask me questions. I'm so happy to help when I can. If I don't know the answer, I'll ask my friends. Alright, so I'm going to grab the periwinkle here. And I screwed up part of the video, so it's going to all of a sudden show dots in the middle. But there you go. I put them on our shoreline here. And I just used the Etcher tool and I filled in the center of all those little blue dots with the periwinkle. They magically appear. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna, now that these other sections are dry here, I'm just gonna, actually I need to put a little petal there, so we'll do that first just to keep our spacing. And we'll put a little petal there. And then we have to do some more of these little curly swipes around. Or did I miss one? Here we go. So again, you're just pushing it up and around. Kind of like you're making an apostrophe if you're doing a contraction, like can't, and then you do apostrophe NT. So it's similar to that. And then the other way over here, we'll do the same. And if I have too much on here, I just have to make sure it's not coating it too much because it's going to get thicker if you keep leaving the paint on it. But also it's just to take your time and pull that little tail down in. So I have one on every single one now? Yes. Alright. So there we have our fun little tropical kind of flower mandala here on a Santorini stone. Again, these are from Capcouriers. Awesome company. I'll post the link in the description for all the things that I use in my video. You would kind of let it dry if you wanted to do any top dotting for highlights. So you just want to make sure it would be totally dry, and then you could even do some highlight dotting. But that is our fun little stone for today, and it's probably going to be a little bit for me to get back to painting because we are hopefully packing up and moving. So I have a sale going in my shop. Help me get rid of inventory, please, so I don't have to lift it and move it. That would be such a great help to me and my family, especially my husband who has to lift all my rocks. So alright, I hope you guys had fun doing this. I always have fun hanging out with you all. As always, please be engaged, leave me a comment, say hi, just tell me where you're from. It helps keep these videos coming up on YouTube so that we can all share. I hope you found this therapeutic and calming and enjoyable, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Even constructive criticism, guys. If you have a new idea or something you think that would work a different way, please feel free to write it in the comments. We're all sharing our views, our ideas here about art, and it's one awesome community. And I love you all. So I hope you have a great day and happy painting.